To go to the big club. Ground ball up the middle and into center field. No, Gordon stops, throws, and gets him. High fly ball hit well to right field. Venable out there and right, cruising back to the wall.
Well, the Dodgers, as you probably know, got a big win last night for their season opener against the Padres. And this year there is reason for optimism. Of course, we got the new ownership and Magic Johnson involved in that group. And two key players, MVP runner-up Matt Kemp and reigning Cy Young winner Clayton Kershaw. They're going to add up to a terrific team this year for the Dodgers. And the question is, can they have the kind of dynasty they had back in the 70s and the 80s? Well, tonight we have someone who knows about the team and the old glory days. Paul Haddad is the author of a new book. It's called High Fives, Pennant Drives, and Fernandomania. Thank you for joining us. Fernandomania, so I want to start off there. I love the title, isn't it? I told you that. Fernando came out of Merida in Mexico. Where is Fernando now?
Fernando now is doing the Spanish broadcast for the Dodgers.
See, that's why.
Yeah.
I don't get to see him. Those were the glory days, weren't they?
I think they were. I think there are a lot of people who remember the Garvey, Say, Lopes, Russell infield, which was the longest infield ever, and Fernando, of course, and then winning the World Series in '81. And they haven't, of course, they've only won one other World Series since then.
Yeah. Why'd you write the book?
I wrote it because I was a somewhat weird kid who recorded Vin Scully recordings off the radio. I recorded Dodger games because I loved playing back the home runs and all the highlights. Mm-hmm. And once I had this collection of tapes, I sat on them for a number of years, a couple decades actually, and decided I should share them with people because why hold on to something that I think is a treasure, which is these Vin Scully recordings. So I wove those transcripts from the recordings into my book to help tell the story of those years.
Vin is the best of the storytellers. Mm-hmm. Absolutely terrific. I mean, he paints a great picture, so when you're listening on radio, it's like watching it on TV, only better.
Yeah, and still is. He's going into his 63rd year now as an announcer. He's really somebody who hasn't really lost a step in terms of the storytelling, and I still will. He's the one who got me into baseball, and I think he's what has kept me through all these years as a Dodger fan, was listening to Vin and being connected to the team through Vin.
Did you ever have a chance to meet him?
I did one time. It was in '96. I was a producer for a cable network, and I got to go backstage and meet him. We were doing behind the scenes at Dodger Stadium. And he stood up to shake my hand a couple hours before a game. And what impressed me was that he was practicing for the game. And I thought maybe he was just doing voiceover for a commercial. Yeah. But he was actually getting his voice ready and practicing, visualizing, seeing the action. And what I took away from that is, after all those years, he was still preparing better than anybody, and to this day he's known for his preparation.
Let me tell you a funny story, because you bring up Vin Scully. I started out in the business with Al Michaels. You know who he is.
Sure.
And he used to do baseball recreates in Hawaii. So they would have a ticker tape and they would get, hits, runs, errors, and stuff. So he would kind of create this visual picture. He had a bat in the studio, had a glove and a ball, and he'd make all these sound effects and everything else. But he always told me, and this was way back when we first started, Vin Scully is the best, and he kind of has a pattern that is somewhat similar to Vin Scully.
Absolutely. And I'd forgotten that Al Michaels actually was Chick Hearn's color man for a while.
That's right. That's right.
Al Michaels is actually in my book.
Oh, he is in your book?
Yeah, he is in my book because I did transcribe some of the calls that he made for the '81 World Series. Mm-hmm. And he gave a really good, I thought, a really succinct description of Fernando's game in Game 3, which was the turning point of that '81 series. The Dodgers were down 2-0 to none to the Yankees. And Fernando pitched that amazing 147-pitch game. And I remember Al Michaels on TV said, well, it wasn't one for the art museum, but it'll do. And, of course, Vin on the radio, I had to get Vin's call in my book as well. And so Vin says, well, this wasn't the best Fernando game, but it was his finest. Yes. So they're both, Al's in there, too.
Do you have a favorite game, a favorite player?
Steve Garvey was always my favorite player growing up. I aspired to be Steve Garvey. I thought he was like Superman. He could do no wrong. And years later, when people realized he wasn't as perfect as we thought he was, that was almost immaterial to me, because it was the aspiration for greatness that appealed to me and still does as an adult. What he stood for was more important than what he really was to me. And as far as a favorite game, did you ask?
Yeah. Is there one you'd single out?
I think the game that singles out would probably be, the Rick Monday game when he hit that big homer was probably huge. You know, no, the one, honestly, that stays with me the most are the final 3 games of 1980, which a lot of people forget about. The Dodgers had to win 3 games in a row to force a 1-game playoff with the Houston Astros, and they did. Every game dramatic, came from behind in every game, 1-by-1 run in every game. Those 3, to me, are the most memorable that people forget about.
You've got the book in your hand. You can hold it up so we can see it once again. and you've got a signing coming up, I understand?
I do, on Monday.
Where are you going to be?
I'll be at the Barnes & Noble at the Grove, 7 o'clock. I'm going to do a book. I'll read some passages from the book. Probably do some bad Vin Scully impressions like I did here.
No.
And sign some books and hopefully meet other Dodger fans. So,
okay.
Yeah.
See, we still have printed books. It's not all electronic yet.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
My
Appreciate
pleasure,
it.
Chuck.
Best of luck with the book.
Thank you. This one's for you, actually.
Great. Only if you sign it.
I will.
Okay, I'll get a pen for you. Coming up, more people are being hired, but some